everyone, so this is a pretty exciting video for me because it has been a long time in the making, so I'm so glad that I'm finally sitting here ready to show you all these dupes. The reason this took so long to put up is that every time I thought I was done, Sephora would come out with a couple more VIB Rouge exclusives. So obviously I wanted this to be the most extensive video possible with all of the VIB Rouge exclusives that are available right now as this video is being posted. So I had to keep waiting and then get the last couple items and then go find dupes either in my collection or out in the drugstore or Ulta or Sephora or whatever. So yeah, this has been quite the ride. I guess before I start, I should just explain briefly what exactly VIB Rouge exclusive products are. Basically, Sephora has products that only VIB Rouge cardholder member things can purchase. And so these aren't free products, these weren't given to me for free. I was just able to find them on the Sephora website. They have a VIB Rouge exclusive section and I can buy these products because I'm a VIB Rouge. If you are not a VIB Rouge, you will be unable to add the item to your shopping cart. So that's how they regulate that. I don't think I bought any of these in the store. Sorry, my dog is on the floor running around, so hold on, maybe I'll go get her. Okay, I got the dog, so she's comfortably on my lap now. Anyway, the whole point of this video is so that I could find similar products to the ones that are VIB Rouge exclusive, so that if you were interested in any of those products, you could go find something that's pretty much the same thing or similar, and that was the goal. Of course, part of this too was me wondering how unique these VIB Rouge exclusive products were and how much they were just relying on people to be like, oh, it's exclusive, I have to have it kind of thing. So we're gonna get, oh, I just hit my dog in the head. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're gonna get into the products now. This is the Bite for VIB Rouge lipstick. This came with my VIB Rouge card when I first got qualified for VIB Rouge, and so it's just a little mini guy, but it's a red lipstick, so I was thinking, how hard is this gonna be to find something? Well, I only found one thing in my collection and one thing out in the world, so apparently this is a pretty unique red. And let me tell you, I have a lot of red lipsticks. Like, I tore through my whole collection for this video. I had lipsticks all over my bed. I was swatching my arms, my legs, everything, just to make sure I was actually giving good product recommendations. So the only thing I had that was a similar red to this red is the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil in Cruella, and I had this because this was in last year's birthday gift. These reds are pretty much identical actually. The finish is pretty much the same. They both are more of a matte finish, as you can tell by the name of the NARS pencil. So if you already have this NARS pencil from your birthday set, you don't really need to worry about whether or not you have this VIB Rouge red. They're pretty much the same. If for some reason you missed out on that birthday gift, don't worry. I went to Ulta and I swatched this Bite lipstick next to a few other lipsticks, and I found that Urban Decay's Bad Blood, that's one of their like matte revolution lipstick things, I'll put the name down below, those were a perfect match as well. Other than that, I didn't really find anything that was the same red, so we're going to move on to a different red now just to keep the trend going. I am going to talk about the Marc Jacobs So Rouge, and that is their VIB Rouge exclusive shade. Again, I only found one item in my collection and one item out in the world that matched this red, and luckily the one that I had at home is a drugstore product. This is the Revlon Color Burst Matte Balm in Standout. This is one of the most talked about matte reds out there. The only other version of this red that I could find out in the world was one of the Too Faced Melted liquid lipsticks, and that's the ones that come in the little like squeezy pouch thing. This is a different color, but you get the idea. And that one is in Velvet, and so that is the one that I found that matched this red. Other than that, again, just like the By Beauty one, I looked through a bunch of different reds in my collection and out in the world, and those are the only ones that were like exact matches. This next one is a Sephora brand lipstick. This is one of their Luster Matte Longwear lip colors, so you will see in this video a lot of these are going to be liquid matte lipsticks because that seems to be the trend right now. Anyway, I got this one a few months ago, and this is the first one that wasn't red, and so I was a little surprised because I thought VIB Rouge they would have a bunch of red ones, which doesn't really make any sense now that I'm thinking of it because how many shades of red do you need? But anyway, I was pleasantly surprised to see that this one is like a nice bright coral, and it's super bright. I've worn this in a video before, so I'll put that on the screen. Yeah, that's a pretty bright coral lipstick. I only had one lipstick in my collection that really matched this color, and that is the Wet n Wild, like one of these clear tube lipsticks in Coraline. And so this is obviously going to be a different texture than a liquid lipstick, but it is a matte lipstick, so they are similar finishes. As you might imagine, this color is really hard to match, so I'm surprised I even found one in my collection. And then I found 3 out in the world that are pretty close. And so I think the closest one I found was the Lorac Pro Matte Lip Color, and they had the shade Coral. And I think that one was probably the closest match because it's meant to be like a warm coral color. The other 2 I found are actually reds that come off with that pink when you swatch them. So the other 2 I found was Maybelline lipstick in All Fired Up, and so that's like a really bright reddish lipstick, but it comes off more orange red, which seemed to look more coral in person. Another high-end version I found that was pretty close to this lipstick was a Stila liquid lipstick, and the shade was Venezia, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this one was a really close match, and I was so surprised because again, it's like a red, supposed to be red-orange lipstick, but when I swatched it next to this Sephora one, it was like pretty much the same, so you'd be surprised what matches. The next shade I'm going to talk about is from Bite Beauty, so they had another VIB Rouge exclusive shade. This one is called Lilac, but it is pretty much like a hot magenta pink. And this one is actually a pretty unique shade, but surprisingly I found 4 in my collection and I think 1 or 2 out in the world that were pretty close to this color. So I'll start with the ones that I own. The first one I had was the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear Lipsticks. This one is in Melted Fuchsia. I had this from a holiday set, and you can kind of see it looks like the lipstick is warmer, but it's one of those things again where like once this is on your skin or on your lips, a little bit of a warm tinge kind of comes out. They're not exactly the same, but they're pretty close. Another close match for this color is the Maybelline Color Whisper or even the Maybelline lipstick in Cherry on Top. And this one looks a lot warmer in the tube. Again, it's only a close match, it's not an exact dupe, but it is a pretty close color to this Bite one when it's on your lips. Then we have Revlon, what are these again? Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stains. These were really popular like maybe 4 or so years ago, so I have a bunch of these. This one is in the shade Lovesick. So this one is again a close match, not an exact dupe. And then finally, I have Maybelline Vivid's lipstick in Vivid Rose, and so this one's slightly warmer but still a really close match to this Bite one. Oh, also I found a match in my Smashbox lip palette that I just did a giveaway on a couple months ago, and so which shade was it again? Michelle. And so this shade right up in the end here is like the closest of close matches. The one I found out in the world, I unfortunately did not write down the color. It's from Maybelline. I'm pretty sure it's Fuchsia Flash. I think that's one of their Vivid lipsticks. Unfortunately, this next shade is also kind of a unicorn shade, as I've been calling them to myself. This is another one of the Too Faced Liquefied Longwear lipsticks, and this one is called Melted Rainbow, and you can already see from just the packaging itself, like this is kind of a weird color. It's similar to Lilac, but it's more on the purple side, so you can even see these side by side. Like you can tell that one of them's pink and one of them looks way more purple. So I had a little trouble, and again, I couldn't find an exact dupe. For some reason, this same shade in this Smashbox lip palette was also a close match to this color. So this is again the shade Michelle, second one down. It's obviously a little warmer than this lipstick, but when I swatched all 3 of them next to each other, like this color like seemed adaptable enough that it could kind of pull off a little more purple depending on how you wear it. The only other close match I had in my collection was another Maybelline Vivid's lipstick, and this one is in Brazen Berry, but this one is more purple, I think, than the melted color comes off. However, this Maybelline lipstick does definitely go on a little bit more sheer, so I think the colors, the effect is pretty much the same. Again, it's not a dupe, it's just a close match, but you're getting pretty much the same color. Next, I have a Bobbi Brown lipstick, and this one is in Pale Mauve or Pale Mauve. This is pretty much like a nude pink kind of color. And I had a couple of close matches in my collection. Again, they're not totally dupes, but they're super duper close. First, I have the Maybelline Color Whisper in Mocha Muse. And so even side by side in the tube, you can tell these colors are like pretty much the same. And then I found the Maybelline Matte Lipstick in Daringly Nude. And so this one is a little more similar to the Bobbi Brown lipstick in its finish, but it's a slightly more brown nude than the Bobbi Brown one. I found a couple of drugstore sort of similar colors out in the world. First, I found the L'Oreal lipstick in Ferris Nude. This is again pretty similar pink nude basic kind of color. Then Rimmel's Airy Fairy was like really close. They were pretty much the same color. And then the Maybelline shade in Born With It was like, again, pretty much exactly the same. Next, I have a Tarte liquid lipstick. This is one of their new lip paints, so I was really excited to see that they already had a VIB Rouge exclusive shade. This one is called FOMO, and you can see it's definitely more of a nude shade, but it's kind of like more berry-ish, I think. I wore this in a video recently, so again, I will show you what that looked like on me there. I found 5 lipsticks in my collection that were pretty much similar or the same as this Tarte one. One of them I don't have. I mean, I don't know where it is in my collection. I just like lost a couple of lipsticks recently. I think I lended them out to somebody. Anyway, so I have a photo in Sephora or Ulta trying this on, the Stila liquid lipstick in Patina. But if you're looking something a little more drugstore, I got you covered. I have another one of those Revlon matte balms, and this one is in Sultry. This is another one of my favorites. Like this one and Standout are my top 2 for this collection. So this one is going to have a similar finish because it's also matte, but obviously the application is different and the texture is different, so these two feel really different on the lips. Another great match is the Maybelline's matte lipstick in Touch of Spice. This one is slightly more reddish than the Tarte, but the colors are really similar. These next couple options are more loose matches, I guess you could say. One of them is another Wet n Wild lipstick, and this one is in Wine Room. It's just not as berry, it's a little more pink, but again, they're pretty similar. The other one is a Jordana lipstick in Matte Classy, if I can open it. This one is definitely a really similar color. I don't know how close it is compared to the Maybelline one and the Revlon one. I think those two are closer, but this one is still a really great option, and this is again, like, I think this is another like $2 lipstick. The next shade I'm going to talk about is another liquid lipstick. This is Stila Stale Day liquid lipstick, and the shade is Ferrans. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but that's the next one we're going to talk about, and this one is a nude kind of shade, but like a darker nude, and so I actually found quite a few matches for this one. This is the shade I'm wearing right now, so you can see what it looks like on me. So the first match I have is the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Lolita. I'd actually heard of this match on the reviews part of this Stila liquid lipstick, so I knew coming in that Lolita would probably be a close match. So you can definitely get Lolita if you're looking for a color like this. My camera decided to overheat and stop working while I was filming, so now I'm just gonna keep going. Another great match for this that I found was MAC's lipstick in Whirl, and that is a matte lipstick, so it will have a similar finish to this lipstick. Unfortunately, I don't know where my tube is right now, but I will have it in time to do the swatches for this. But yes, if you like a lipstick form and not a liquid lipstick form, MAC's Whirl is an excellent option. I have a couple of close matches for this color, and one of them is once again from my Smashbox lip palette. And it's the shade Matthew, which is right on the end right here. You can see the colors next to each other. They're very similar colors. And then another sort of glossier, more sheer type version of this color is Revlon Lip Butter in Pink Truffle, and this is one of my like all-time favorite lip products freaking ever. But I should just put that up a little more for you. So this Revlon Lip Butter is really similar in color. I saved this other lipstick for last because one, it's one of the newer things they just added, and two, I'm having a really hard time finding dupes. This is the Dior Addict lipstick in Wild About Pink, and so they had a lipstick and a nail polish, which I'll get to. And so this lipstick, it's I have photos of how beautiful it is. Right now it's not as pretty anymore. It used to have the logo on there. But it's not the color that's the issue necessarily, it's the finish. This lipstick is really, really sheer and really shiny, almost like a lip gloss. And so I had a lot of trouble finding something that's exactly the same. What I was able to find were a few lipsticks from the drugstore that were similar in color but are going to show off more pigmented and not quite the same finish as this lipstick, which I'm sure some people would prefer, but if you know the Dior Addict lipsticks and you're expecting a similar thing, these aren't going to be quite the same. But at the drugstore I found Maybelline's Pink Chic and Revlon Color Stay lipstick in women's wear. Before I move on to the non-lipstick products, I just want to do like a sum up of the lipsticks that I've talked about. So I think the Dior lipstick, I mean, I like it, but I don't think it's like worth all the money that you'd pay for it. I tend to like my lipsticks a lot more pigmented, and I just feel like this one is more like a sheer lip balm type product, which it's called a lipstick, so that seems a little misleading to me, but I'm not the biggest fan of this. I've only worn it once though, so maybe my mind will change, but for now, I'm not super into it. I love the Bite Beauty lipsticks. I think these lipsticks are just some of the best you can get generally, and I think the color, the red one is definitely a little more usable for me. I love red lipstick. This bright pink, I've worn it quite a few times, but it's not something that like I regularly reach for, especially if I'm just going to go to work. This is more like a spring, summer, like vacation kind of lipstick for me. So I don't wear this color as much, but it's such a cool color that I'm glad I have it in my collection, but I also really like lipstick. As for the red, like this is just a great classic red. The Marc Jacobs red is really gorgeous, and I think the way it wears is really interesting. I think they call it like, I know it's a lip cream, but I thought they like called it some like gel formula or something, but there's something about the formula that really lasts a really long time. Like it's pretty much like a liquid lipstick in terms of staying power and how bright the color is when you put it on. The Bobbi Brown lipstick is not the most flattering on me, I think because it's like more of a sheer and shiny kind of finish. This color is so light for me that it kind of, I don't know, it's not my favorite nude pink. Like I would reach for like one of the dupes I showed you, the drugstore ones, before I would reach for this one. So for me personally, like I don't think I would purchase this again, but I think a lot of people would really like it. This Sephora liquid lipstick is amazing. Like I love this formula. I was really surprised because I'm comparing this side by side with all these other like more expensive liquid lipsticks, but this one is actually really good. It does dry out a little bit on my lips, but if I put a lip balm on top, I'm fine and good to go again. But this color is just so unique and so pretty and just so bright. Like I just really love this lipstick. Now between these two, this is the Tarte lip paint and the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick. I definitely prefer the formula of the Stila one a lot more than the Tarte lip paint. I feel like the Tarte one, it's thicker. It's more like whipped in texture. It's like a really thick formula and I can just feel it on me, and I feel like it dries out way faster. So I definitely prefer the Stila formula. In terms of the color, I think the Tarte one is a bit more unique, and I think the depth of that like berry kind of color that it pulls out is really pretty. But it's just a little harder to wear. Like I don't look forward to putting it on quite as much. And then of course we have this totally weird shade from Too Faced. I really love this. Again, it's sort of like that Bite Beauty bright pink one. Like it's not something I'm gonna go for day to day, but I mean, this is one of the ones where I straight up couldn't find any similar shades because it's just so unique, and I love personally having things like that in my collection. I know if you're a little bit more economical with your makeup choices, like I wouldn't get something like this, but I just think this color is so cool because it's like kind of like a hot pink, but kind of like a little bit of a bright purple. Moving on to non-lipsticks, there is one blush that is a VIB Rouge exclusive, and it's from NARS. And the shade is called Golu. I can't pronounce it, but it is just a pretty standard neutral-ish blush, but it's a little bit berry type. So, oh, dinner's here. This is a pretty standard blush color, but it pulls a little bit more like a berry or purplish kind of color. So I definitely think it's, again, a pretty unique shade, but comparing it to NARS Dolce Vita, which is like one of their most popular blushes, they're really similar. This VIB Rouge one is a bit more pink, whereas Dolce Vita is more red, but the colors and how they swatch are pretty similar, so I don't think you necessarily need both. I found one other pretty similar color blush in my collection, and it's from that Tarte holiday palette from a couple years ago that I just love, and it's the shade Grateful. So it's that second one in, and you can see it's still that sort of like neutrally berry type color. But other than that, I really didn't find that much in terms of like really close colors. Some of the other colors that I would want to mention are from the Morphe blush palette that I just got recently, and those two shades on top are really similar in color, but the NARS blush has a different like sheen to it, which is really pretty, and the Morphe ones are all matte. So if you like the color but you don't really want the shimmer, or if you're not VIB Rouge, then this Morphe palette was like, it was pretty cheap. And it has similar colors to this NARS one. Finally, there are two nail polishes that they came out that are VIB Rouge exclusive. The first one is by Marc Jacobs, and it's called Wine Not, and it's this like really beautiful purple, goldish, reddish kind of color. I was convinced I would never find anything like this, but I did find a Sally Hansen nail polish with the exact same name actually. It's also called Wine Not. And it was really close. It was a little bit more red than purple, but they were pretty much identical. So if you like this color nail polish, just go for the Sally Hansen one. It's pretty much exactly the same. The other nail polish is from Dior, and it's Wild About Pink, so it matches the lipstick that I just talked about. And I was convinced I would find like 500 nail polishes that are the same color, and I actually had a lot of trouble. I was able to find one nail polish that was really similar but was slightly more warm, and it was another Sally Hansen nail polish, and it was called Hello Pretty, and that was the closest I could find. Like, I looked through Essie's nail polishes, I looked through pretty much every drugstore brand that was there, and I just didn't really find a pink quite like this. I'm wearing it on my nails right now, but yeah, this one is a lot more unique than I thought. Overall, as you can see, a lot of these products you can totally find dupes for, or at least similar products at the drugstore and at Sephora or Ulta. But there were a couple that were a little bit too unique to find matches for, so I hope this was helpful to you. I know that it can be really frustrating when there are products out there that you can't get your hands on because of some weird status level like this. So I just wanted to do something to just let you guys know, like, hey, I know it's this exclusive thing that sounds fancy, but like, it's not that big of a deal. You can still find things that are similar colors, and it really doesn't matter. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment below and let me know what some of your favorite VIB Rouge exclusives were. And if you're looking for me, you can find me at any of the social media handles you'll see on the end screen or down below in the info box. Or as always, you can find me at brokeforbeauty.com. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!